Good morning. Welcome to the Carla Marie and Anthony Show. My name is Anthony.
I'm Carla Marie.
And this is the show. Thank you for joining us. It looks like we're in hype train level 3 right now. So if you're watching this on YouTube later, once we get to level 5, we will be taking a shot, which apparently has caused my dad to think I'm an alcoholic.
Why?
Well, he said something. I said something about the fact that I don't really drink that much outside of this show, which is really just a shot. So it's not anything crazy. It's like having your glass of wine on a nightly basis or whatever. If you have a regular sized glass of wine, not the hot girl goblet. But he said something. He's like, oh yeah, there was one day I was watching and you took like 3 or 4 shots. And I thought to myself, that probably never happened. But it does give off this appearance that we are like alcoholics, which obviously we are not.
Is my volume still low? And also someone said either my volume's low or I have a cold. I have a wildfire in my nose is what I have.
A wildfire in your nose?
That's basically what's happening. I basically was bedridden yesterday because we have wildfires here in Washington. And I watched the AQI go from 90 when I woke up, which is bad, to 140 something. And I'm an idiot and left like my windows open at first, and then I had to close them. I went through 2 boxes of tissues. It's so bad here right now.
See, this is why when I'm actually sick, I rarely use tissues. I use toilet paper.
No, it's I have toilet paper now, but it's not as soft.
It's pretty soft. It's meant for your butthole, so it's got to be pretty soft.
But I am wrecked today.
Bree from Arizona. Oh, sorry, Carla Marie. What were you saying?
To say I did a nose rinse, and then today when I cleaned out my ears, it was all like orange, and it's never been that color before.
So
and I cleaned out my ears. Yeah, it's just pouring out of everywhere.
This is a question that I have. I thought orange was good for earwax, and green is bad because green means it's like old or something.
Yeah, I've never had green. I don't know what that's about.
Green means
you're
like
a different. It was like bright.
But isn't orange good?
I think it's normally like brown.
Brown ear? I don't know. Does anyone know what your earwax color is supposed to be? Also, Lenny from Queens, I am still in New Jersey. I'll be here today and tomorrow. And then finally, after 2 weeks, I will be back in Seattle. It's been kind of crazy. That I don't, other than the holidays, I've never been gone for this long.
Sorry, the whole Discord thing, we're using Discord today, and I think there's a bit of a lag, so we keep talking over each other.
Yeah, I think you also glitched for a second, so that could have been it. But on my end, it seems fine.
Okay. Gillywagon asked if I've ever used one of the ear cameras. No.
Well,
I didn't know you knew what an ear camera was.
Oh, well, explain it. Even if I do, explain what the ear camera is. Also, shift to your right a little bit, Carla Marie. There you go.
You put it in your ear to see what's going on in your brain, basically. Not your brain.
Okay, well, maybe do a better explanation than that.
I don't know. I'm going to see if I can borrow Gillywagons. I don't know if that's gross or not, but imagine we can go live and show my ear.
What didn't you talk about a place that like does that in Seattle? They clear your ears out once a year or something like that?
Yeah. I forget what it's called, but I do want to go there.
Explain it though for people who weren't here that first time.
They rinse out your ears of like all the extra gunk, because obviously, yes, earwax is good before we get attacked. If this video ever makes it somewhere where people that don't follow us and don't whatever, earwax is good. We know it's supposed to be there to help you. You're not supposed to use Q-tips, that whole thing, whatever. Either way, using Q-tips, it feels good. But
love it.
The cleaning place like rinses out all the extra gunk, and people who have done it say that like they didn't realize how much they couldn't hear until they got it cleaned out.
Well, you have your friend Laura used to work in like the ear industry, right?
Yeah.
What did she do?
She was an audiologist.
Can you call her? Because I've got some ear questions.
Right. Why don't we do it when we're together?
Why don't you just do it now?
Because then I'm going to have to repeat the same question you're asking.
No, you just put it up to the, it's true because of the microphone. And
she can't hear you. And my brain's broken today.
What do you mean?
So we'll save ear talk for Thursday.
That's lame. We could call her through the phone line that I have set up.
No.
Okay. So Martha asked how my family reunion was. If you have been following along, I've been in New Jersey this long, or I've been traveling this long because when I left 2 weeks ago, Carla Marie and I flew from Seattle to Dallas. We had morning show boot camp, phenomenal event. Then we came to New Jersey, had my dad's side of the family reunion last week. Then I was in New Jersey. Carla Marie went back to Seattle. Then this weekend, and thank you to Lisa for the 3 gifted subs. Then this weekend, and we got through Hype Train level 4, so thank you to Jen and Lisa. We had my mom's side of the family come over, and not everyone was able to make it. Some people were traveling. Some people were in the middle of some other stuff. So it was a much smaller event. And for people who keep asking why they weren't on the same day, it's because my family is pretty big. My dad's side of the family,
Also,
when
I
they
feel
were
like
all
that's-
over, that was like 40 people.
But that's not like a family reunion isn't supposed to blend both sides of the family.
Well, it could.
It's supposed to be,
Like if my parents are throwing it, they could
I guess,
invite both
yes.
sides of the family.
But anyone I've been to is only one side.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I guess for that same reason. Like I went to a family reunion once. We had 70 people there.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like I was actually thinking about it. If this trend continues, because now a bunch of my cousins are having babies, a bunch of my cousins are getting married, things like that. It's just going to keep growing. Ideally, right? I've never been like a family reunion person.
Or just, you don't need to be a family reunion person to know that families grow.
No, I understand that. I just don't know. I didn't grow up with family reunions. This is a very new thing that my family is doing. So how far does it extend? Like, when do you start capping people and not inviting them? At what point in the family relation?
We've had this conversation about not necessarily not inviting people for holidays, but like we need to rearrange our Christmas list situation because we have always bought for the whole family, and the whole family was 12 people in the 90s, and now it's 35.
Yeah.
So like, hello. So at what point do you start capping people? Obviously, it's a bit different with a Christmas list, but I don't know. I don't think you do. I think you just go to a bigger venue.
Well, no, I think with gifts, you do cap it because at some point, if you're an adult, you just stop getting gifts or you do a grab bag or a white elephant.
But we're going to do anyone under 18 gets a gift. You can't do that for a family reunion. You don't come if you're
Correct.
under 18.
So then I was thinking maybe they all have. So the way the family reunion has been set up now is my dad's side of the family. It's everyone who has descended or married into the family that came from his parents. Right. So from my grandparents, it's all of their kids, which there's 6 of them, all of the grandkids and all of the great grandkids, and then all of the wives, obviously, and husbands.
It's not like your dad's cousins are coming.
Correct. So it's like the immediate family and their descendants. So I think that would be the rule, right? But at what point do you say like, oh, well, we'd like to see this person as well. We'd like to see so-and-so.
That's what we did. It was like a giant hall in Lyndhurst, New Jersey, and it was anyone in this part of the family, like at all, who wants to come, you pay like $10 and you go.
But between the two family reunions, there was someone who is very important to me that I wasn't able to see, and it's my cousin Michelle. So she's on my dad's side of the family. She wasn't able to come because she's in the middle, or very end actually, of getting ready to open her own bakery in Montreal. So I figured, you know what? I'm on the East Coast. It's about a 5 or 6 hour drive from New Jersey to Montreal. I'll go up there for a day. I'll see her spot, and then I'll come back for the other side of my family, my mom's side of the family reunion. So my brother Michael joined me on the drive up there. So we left Friday morning, and I think I'm at a point in my life now where I don't need to speed through a road trip. Like, I don't think I really got over 85 miles an hour the whole time. I was cool with people passing me. I didn't even look at the clock. I was just like, I don't really care. Well, I'll get there when I get there. We made as many stops as we needed to.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, I just thought, screw it.
I don't believe you.
And it's because I knew it was going to be only one day. When we're traveling across the country, there are times driving through Nebraska, Kansas, whatever, it gets a little redundant. And you still have 2 days to go, so maybe I'll hit 100 on those road trips. But we get up to the border, and the interesting thing was, on the way into Canada, as an American citizen, they usually give you a harder time. They'll ask you more questions. They'll have you open the doors or trunks or whatever to your car. So my brother and I get to the border. Now, keep in mind, we are brothers. Our passports, I think, have the same address because it's our home address from when we got the passports. So the first question is usually, where are you headed? You say, oh, we're going to Montreal. Okay. Where are you guys from? Well, I currently live in Seattle. My brother currently lives in Brooklyn, but we're from New Jersey like our passports say. Okay. Why are you going to Montreal? Oh, we're going to go see some family, visit some family, which is a normal reason to go to another country. And his next question confused the hell out of me. He said, well, do you have dual citizenship? I was like, is there some new rule that I'm supposed to know to get into Canada? Are they not allowing citizens? Or is it a COVID rule?
Yeah.
And I said, no, we're just American citizens, as if that wasn't enough. And he goes, well, this is the stupidest thing I think I've ever heard at a border, possibly ever, though. He goes, well, then how do you have family in Canada? As if I was lying to him about visiting family.
It's not like you have children in Canada.
Well, even then, I could have a child that moved to Canada. It's a very likely
you could
thing.
have had a child.
It's a very likely thing to have family that lives in a different country, regardless of their relation to you. So I very quickly, I don't know how I had this answer like ready to go. Just went, well, when my father's family emigrated from Lebanon, some of them went to Montreal. My dad and his brother went to New Jersey. That is why I have family in Lebanon. And he kind of like had this blank stare.
How old was this guy?
He was older. I mean, he was definitely older than me.
I thought it was going to be like some 20-something person who
No.
doesn't know how the world works.
It was just such a weird question. And he could have sounded like a little bit of a jerk, but he also had that French Canadian accent, which just makes you sound like you're snooty. It makes you sound like a snooty fake European. What?
He may just be someone who just works at the border and just likes to mess with people.
He could. And then we have like an
People
older
are
van.
so nervous coming through the
Yeah.
border that like anything.
Well, then this is where so he had that dumb question, and then I messed up big time, because then he says, well, when was the last time you were in Canada? Now, because I was driving to Montreal, I heard that question as, when was the last time you were in Montreal? Even though it was clearly, when was the last time you were in Canada? So I said, I was probably there. It's been a couple of years. I think the last time I was here was for my grandmother's funeral in, I think, March of 2019.
But we were literally there in
Hold
October.
on. So then my brother says, yeah, I was here for the same thing. So then he looks at me and goes, have you ever been to Vancouver? And I was like, oh, yeah. And I literally said to him, I completely forgot that was Canada. But yes, I was in Vancouver last October. And I've been there a couple times to go snowboarding at Whistler. And he kind of like gave me a weird look, like, why are you lying to me? But I really just forgot that was part of Canada. Like, it didn't even cross my mind. And part of it was because when he asked me the question, I thought it was, when was the last time you were in Montreal? Like, those two things were equivalent when he asked me the question. But
Fred the mailman said, agents at the Canadian border always ask the dumbest questions.
Yeah.
I get it often.
And I wonder if they're just trying to get people to slip up.
And like, slip up and do what? You don't come to Canada because you forgot when you came?
Maybe. I don't know. But they're trying to see if you're bringing in like drugs or people or animals or vegetables. I don't know what you smuggle to Canada anymore. But
Take vegetables. You cannot take vegetables.
I don't know what people smuggle to Canada. But then the last part of this was he asked what we had in the back. And I did have two containers that my cousin Michelle needed. I don't know what they're for, but she needed them. And they're just big empty containers. So I said, oh, well, my cousin moved here recently, so I have some of her stuff in the back. He says, all right, let me see it. But the problem is, it's not like we have a new van. We don't have a van that like all the doors open automatically. So I had to like pivot and slide this big van door out. And he looks at it and says, that's all you got? And I said, yeah. That's all you're leaving in Canada? And I looked around. There was literally nothing else in the van. There was two backpacks. I said, yeah, that's it. Then he starts guilting me. He says, you didn't bring any gifts for your family? It's like, I'm the gift, asshole. What do you mean?
First of all, I would have been like, just, I did it, arrest me. I would have been so panicked if this were me.
Well, then they did the same thing. So the American, on the way back, so I was only there for a day. I saw my cousin Michelle's restaurant. It's beautiful.
Hold on. Sorry to interrupt. I just need to, we didn't really complete Hype Train Level 5. We got so close, and I think Jen and Lisa gifted subs that maybe did not count at the end. So I still had Seattle Cocktail Club make me my shooter for today because it's a banana split, and I just want to drink it before it like completely melts.
Well, hold on. Don't drink it yet. I'll take a shot with you.
Well, I'm going to eat the cherry.
Okay, you can have that.
Oh my God. So it's vanilla vodka, creme de banana, and it's got whipped cream, chocolate syrup, and a maraschino cherry. It is a banana split. It's a shooter. Jordan from Seattle Cocktail Club made it for me this morning. I think it's a National Banana Split Day today.
That's what she said. So I've got this cute little solo cup shot glass and some tequila.
Oh, that is cute.
So that's what I will be drinking because we were pretty close to level 5 of the hype train. So why not? You know?
Allegedly, we hit it and it didn't count.
Likely story. You're right there, Carla Marie?
For me.
It's what?
I'm going to burn everything down.
Oh, yeah. It looks like my Wi-Fi stinks for some reason in my parents' house right now. Let's see. We'll figure it out. Now it's green, so we're good. It's going to fluctuate. This is the best we can do at the moment. And you know what? We're just going to roll with it. Cheers to you, Carla Marie. Cheers to everyone who supported the stream. Sweet mustache you got going on there.
No, it's not me. For the record, it's Anthony's shitty internet. I'm plugged in at our studio.
Oh, yeah? Do a speed check. What do we got? I'm going to nerd check you. Speed check it. This is my speed checks, and it's like the nerdiest thing you can do to check your Wi-Fi speed, but speedtest.net is what you go to. I know Google has their own, but I feel like speedtest.net has been the most consistent out of the ones that I've tried.
500s.
500s?
580 download.
Okay. What's your upload speed?
Our coworker came to the door and is staring at me.
What's your upload speed?
Okay, download is 588. Upload is...
Okay, so it might be me because my download
70.
is... Was
80.
it?
90.
Oh, so we're not that different because my download is 80 and my upload is 70.
Okay, my upload is 112, so.
Okay, so you're a little better than me. But really, after about 50 on the upload, you should be fine. Like, there's really, I don't think, a big difference. But, you know, we'll figure it out. It might be Discord, might be too intense for this right now.
Cindy said there are Wi-Fi issues across the country, apparently. Yeah, I'm going to go with it probably has something to do with the extreme weather and the fact that everything is burning down.
Could be. Could be. This is one of the reasons, though, that we are trying to figure out how to get a streaming PC that we can leave in the studio. Because one of the problems is when I leave, when either of us travel, you know, now we're using 2 computers and the laptop has to do a little bit more in terms of gathering the information from the internet and then spitting it back out through OBS. Whereas if we had a streaming PC in the studio, then Carla Marie could have turned that on today. I would have connected to the studio and it would have been a little bit easier because my computer would be doing less things. It probably wouldn't have shut down a little bit before, a little while ago.
Hear the fan.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. The fan has to be on. It's also pretty hot in this house, so I think that's also part of it.
What did you take a shot of?
Casamigos.
Doesn't our old boss CEO own that?
No. This, I believe, is owned by George Clooney.
Oh, yeah.
Our boss owns our old boss, Bobby P. He owns a much more expensive version of tequila, or brand of tequila called Casa Dragones. And that, I think, is $300 a bottle. It's not meant for poor people. It's not meant for us.
No.
I think if anyone wanted to class someone out of a drink, it's Bob Pittman. He wants to make sure that only rich people and him can drink it. So
we're skipping for everybody. So would you like to use Google Meet?
I
don't know why we switched for today.
Let's give it a couple minutes. Because it seems like I'm streaming properly. Maybe everyone just needs to refresh.
No, it's like someone said it sounds like they're listening on their portable CD player. I'm hearing the same thing they're hearing.
Okay, then I guess we'll shut down and come back.
Well, can we just switch?
We could try. You know what? I'll put the screen on.
Just don't move fast.
Don't move fast. How fast do you think I'm moving? What do you think? I'm injured. I can't even move that fast. What am I doing? Am I going Sonic the Hedgehog across the screen?
Maybe.
Here, because I can put this up, and I can work in the background.
No, right now we're good. So just don't move fast.
I'm not moving fast. I don't know why you keep saying that.
Okay. So where are we at in this injury? Don't you have to take another cushion out today?
I took it out last Monday. Well, I was supposed to take it out last Monday, and I kind of forgot, so I took it out last Wednesday. And walking with the boot now, with no padding in it. So I originally started with the boot and 3 pads, and they're all wedges, right? So they all lift your ankle up like this, and then you start leveling out to more of a flat-footed situation or a flat-footed stance in the boot. And I'm now just in the boot by itself, and it is much easier to walk without your heel up. And I guess I didn't realize it, but one of the reasons it was difficult to walk was not just that the boot is restricting my movement, but it's almost like if you were walking with one high heel and one sneaker, right? Because now your feet are like, you're literally walking like this.
Yes. Did you sell the pad that you were talking about?
Not yet, but the person I was talking about said that they responded today, this morning actually, because they just watched the YouTube video. That's how they take in the show. And they said that they are still willing to offer $100 for the bottom pad. So, selling that. I'll send it back when I go home.
The bottom pad? Did
Yeah.
it even touch your foot?
No, but it was the one that was in there the longest, and it did obviously touch my foot when I was just using one pad.
All right.
It is actually the most like gross, I would say, out of all of them because you're just smashing it down the whole time. So, but they said $100. I mean, why not? Didn't you say that Amy from Bobby Bones' show was asking you about that?
So Amy messaged me. Her and Morgan from Bobby Bones are very intrigued because you apparently forgot this. We were having a full conversation with Amy at Morning Show Boot Camp about your foot business.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, what? Like, it was so funny. So I guess her and Morgan were talking about it. I think they may talk about it on a future Best Bits episode that Morgan does for the podcast for like their best of stuff.
That's like their Saturday show.
Yeah, I think they're going to plan on discussing it.
Well, I can send them screenshots. I can send them some numbers, you know?
Yeah. Oh, Meg said Amy has a guy wanting feet pics from her. Amy, I'm going to text her. Better sell it.
Which Amy?
Amy from the Bobby Bones show.
Oh, she does. Well, because there's also Amy from Gillywagon, who you talk to every day, Carla Marie.
The Amy's that we were talking about.
I don't know.
From once.
Because it doesn't seem to me like Amy is someone who checks DMs from people she doesn't know.
Yes, she does.
I don't know. I feel like she's just too busy. She has too many people that follow her.
No.
At some point, you just can't make that much time.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Anyway.
You're not. Don't try to put yourself on the same social media level as Amy Brown.
Okay, to be fair, Amy told me she wants me to move to Nashville and help me run her social media.
I mean, you could. Go for it. Who's stopping you? The Seahawks?
It'd be so cool. No, I could work for. What do they got there? The Titans?
You could. I'm sure she probably knows someone there to be like, hey, I got this girl from the Seahawks. We could move her here and she could help me out.
We could hang out with our friend Dax. We could hang out with Ricky.
Oh, I did want to talk about that. So,
No,
what?
I was already transitioning to something else. Sit back and stop moving.
Continue.
Speaking of Amy, today I have my psychic soul reading session with Amy's cousin, Amanda. She has a podcast called Soul Sessions on wherever you get your podcast. And so I will be doing the recording today. And then it gets posted as a podcast. And then the plan will be to have her on Twitch to also do a reading for anyone who's in the chat.
Okay.
And then she may actually launch her own Twitch channel. But I get to meet her today. And so today is just one-on-one. It's not live. That's just not how she does things for this. But it will be recorded and turned into a podcast episode. I am so nervous.
Do you know when your podcast episode is going to air?
I don't know how far out. But
and what are you expecting?
Is my old podcast producer, so I'll find out.
But what are you expecting from this psychic reading?
So I listened to one of the other episodes she has done. It's actually with Emily Curl, who does all of like iHeartRadio's digital stuff.
Okay.
And it's so cool because it's truly like she's telling you things about yourself that you probably already knew but didn't know how to formulate and to explain.
Okay.
I loved listening to it. Like it'll be so interesting to see how she reads me. And then at the end, she starts talking about if there are any people that come through during your reading. So I made my mom give me a list of everyone in our family who their full name, their nickname, and their date of birth, because of anyone who's died,
Okay.
not alive. Because I'm so concerned that like I'm gonna be so wrapped up into it, and she's gonna be like Joe, and I'm like, I don't know who Joe is. Ooh, that's so weird.
What?
'Cause she did not put him on brother-in-law Joey.
Oh. So, how much information have they asked of you so far?
Just my name, first name, and birth date.
Okay, because here's always been my issue with psychics. I feel like they get, through their producers or through their people, they get a lot of information about you first, which means they can do a bunch of research and then tell you things that you, even though you didn't tell them directly, they were able to find out about you.
So I agree. That's why, like, I don't want to say much on here. I didn't even want to mention the list because I wanted to see if she brought it up, but whatever.
If she brings up Joey, I know that it's a lie.
Okay. No, that doesn't mean it's a lie.
Yep.
But also, she may not watch this. Who knows? Either way, the bulk of what she does, the soul reading, the only person that could tell you if it's true is essentially me, right? Like with something like that, that's the only person that knows that, if I even know that about myself, is me. The other stuff, like my mom could listen and be like, oh my God, that's so true. But when I was listening to Emily's session, I follow Emily on social media. I've read all of her social media posts. What Amanda was telling her is nothing I would have gotten from her social media. And as open as I am on social media, there are going to be things that she breaks down about me that I have never shared, likely.
Okay.
Like it's not like I'm just, for example, for like Emily was talking about when she wants to settle down, or things about her relationships that she didn't share on social media. And Emily was like, yeah, that's exactly how I feel, or whatever it is. There are things that Anthony doesn't know about me that she may be able to formulate into words. I'm very intrigued to hear this, and whether it's bullshit or not, I'm excited to kind of have a mental reset because I really fucking need it right now. So
why is that?
I'm pumped. I don't know. I just not feeling it lately. So
What are you not feeling? Like, is it your position in life?
Nothing.
Is it you with yourself?
All
is
of
it? You gotta be a little more specific than that, no?
all of the above.
What is going right?
I mean, I guess my relationship.
It doesn't have to be. I don't care. You can say nothing.
It's the only thing. Like, nothing feels like it's moving on track.
Okay.
And I'm so excited to talk to her today. I'm going to shut up because I don't want her to hear any more of this.
That's fair. I mean, although I would love to obviously dive more into this, because I feel like we're just leaving this open-ended thing now.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
And it's because it's later this afternoon, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Drown You Out said, I feel this so hard, Carla Marie. You look great, Carla Marie says, Geek Girl Grace.
Hey, Grace. PNW Green Eyed Girl. Off topic, Carla Marie, I loved meeting you briefly last week at Hawks training camp. Bucket list item checked. Is that Abby or is it Samantha from Monroe? Amanda from Monroe? Blanking on your name. But it was nice to meet you too. You're one of two people.
Erica P said her meeting is finally over. Welcome back to the show, Erica P. And then Ari Saucy said, I feel like this is a good conversation to unpack, Carla Marie. And I guess maybe we'll unpack it tomorrow.
Maybe.
Let me pull
or maybe you can listen to her podcast.
Or you could do that. Oh, and I asked you, do you know, I don't remember your answer. Do you know when the podcast will air or when it'll be posted?
I don't know.
Okay.
I do not. Oh, and then, it's either Samantha from Monroe or Abby.
So then you're going to be on this podcast with this psychic, this soul reader. Is that what you called her?
So she calls, I don't want to, mislabel her.
Yeah. It was Samantha from Monroe, Carla Marie, that you met.
Hi, Samantha. She stopped me while she was waiting in line for the bus at training camp. And I thought I was like, I thought I was getting in trouble because I thought I was like passing the wrong or like in the wrong spot in the parking lot. I was like, oh, what? And she was like, hi.
Also,
Okay.
Nick 2010 said, hello, it's my first time here. I played 2-second tunes a while ago. Well, welcome, Nick. Thanks for hanging with us.
What's
and more
going on
importantly,
today?
thanks for joining the Morning Show podcast, because once I get back to Seattle, we are going to be asking a lot of people to come back onto the podcast. One of the things I'd love to do is to get a partnership or a client of some sort that can create some sort of prizing for us. Even if it's like $100 gift card or I don't know, $50 gift card to Dunkin' or Starbucks or something.
Or $10
Something.
to Starbucks.
Something. We got to start small.
Okay, so just the soul sessions today. This is
Soul
looks
sessions.
are you join renowned spiritual, intuitive, psychic medium, and wellness leader Amanda Riger Green for thought-provoking spiritual dialogues.
Now, when you say she's a soul reader or whatever, it seems like there are a couple things she can do. She could either tell you about yourself, right, or she can connect you with people that have died.
Yeah. So,
and you don't know which one you're getting.
It's a soul. From what I understand, when I listened to Emily's episode, it was a bulk of it, like, was all about Emily herself, and then the last few minutes were about anyone that came through.
Okay.
But it's crazy because it's not like me talking. I'm gonna ask questions, but she's literally just like going.
So you just sit there?
Kinda. And Emily definitely interacted
for
sure. And I'm gonna be like, "What do you mean? What is that about?" I definitely have questions, for sure. But I don't know. I've always believed. Of course, there are people that are hacked, right? There are hacks for everything. There are hacks in radio. There are hacks with every single industry. There is someone scamming you. So,
oh man, speaking of hacks, okay, continue.
But I think that it's there's no nice way to say this. I think you're an idiot and ignorant if you don't believe that there are certain people that are more intuitive than others.
Well,
in certain ways. And if you do believe in an afterlife, the fact that there's just a wall and we can't cross paths ever again, I don't believe in that. I don't believe that I can connect with anyone.
Well,
but I do believe that other people can.
I think there's two things you have to believe, though, to get to that point. One is you have to believe, whether it's an afterlife, whatever it is, you have to believe that your energy, whatever that represents, whether it's your soul, your spirit, your being, the energy that you have in your body, you have to believe that lives on past your body. Number one.
I do.
Then you have to believe that some of us can interact with that energy. So I wouldn't say you have to be an idiot not to believe that. I just think there are two things you have to believe to get to that point. Mm-hmm. If you don't believe either of them, then that's just what you believe, because there's no way to prove any of it. No. That's kind of the beautiful thing about a belief.
I know.
Right? Otherwise, like, for example, if whatever religion you
skeptic.
Yeah, but whatever religion you practice, if there was concrete scientific proof that it existed, there would be no reward for believing in it, because that's just a thing. Right? Like, the whole idea of a belief is you are believing in something that's bigger and not necessarily able to be proven. Mm-hmm. And there's some reward for it, for your commitment to it, if that makes sense. And that's for any religion. That's for any set of beliefs. There is a reward for you believing in something you cannot see, feel, touch, or prove.
So my brother, you know him, he is not the kind of person that would believe in anything like this, right?
Who?
My brother.
Oh, in terms of like a spiritual soul reader? Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know. He's a Disney adult, so maybe.
In the 90s.
Guy believes in magic, right?
He did not. But his now wife, girlfriend at the time, convinced him to go to a psychic with him. No social media. No anything at this point. Keep that in mind. So it's not like this person was following him.
Okay.
Even my mom just reminded me of this the other day. My uncle passed away when my brother was in high school. I've never met him. I'm not going to give any more information. I guess the psychic my brother went to was able to say my uncle's name, certain things that only my brother knew. Relationship between him, my mom said my brother came home in his late 20s hysterical crying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that is from like the biggest skeptic about anything in the whole world that I know. So that, when I remember when I was a kid, was like, oh my God, if he's like this is real.
Yeah, you cry about everything.
Right. So you can't really judge that.
Exactly.
But he clearly felt something enough. And I'm excited. And again, if she just sits there and tells me things about myself that makes me reset, I don't give a crap. I'm just happy to be able to talk to her.
You know what's interesting? I think that anyone can find spirituality and belief and be moved to tears through anything. It could be a movie, it could be a song, it could be a beautiful scenic landscape that you have just hiked to. You know, there are so many things that can move us to believe in something larger. And if this is what that ends up being, great. That doesn't mean I necessarily believe in it. Maybe I'll go down that road, and maybe if she's on the stream and does a psychic reading, maybe she'll change my mind. Maybe she won't. But it doesn't mean that my disbelief in something has to affect someone's belief in that same thing.
Fair.
You know, if I don't believe in the same religion as you, that doesn't mean that it brings down your faith. You know? It just is what it is. You believe what you believe. Yeah. And if your faith or belief in that thing is strong enough, even if other people don't believe in it, it should not impact you, right? Let's see.
Hold on. I gotta look at this.
The Long Island Radium ran up to my aunt's friend at Costco. Let's see. This is Meg, not Megan. Put this on the screen. In a Costco parking lot. No cameras or anything. She told her her son who died on 9/11 was coming through. That's crazy. And I'm assuming that was true then, Meg, that her son did unfortunately die in 9/11. Did she have any other information?
My God.
Oh, this is so going back to my energy statement. Fred the Mailman said, first rule of science, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only change forms. Our energy has to go somewhere and become something, scientifically speaking.
But science isn't real. We learned that in 2020.
Trust the science or don't trust the science. Whatever you want to do, I don't really care. No, I agree, but some people would argue that your energy then goes back into the earth and it becomes a tree or whatever, or dirt.
A cat.
Or a cat. Whatever that happens to be. Tacoma Swifty, I think it's so cool you're going to be getting a reading. I do think it's cool that you're going to go through this experience and see how it is. You've never had a reading before, right?
I have. Dina, so it's kind of hard, obviously, and she'll just be the first person to tell you this. She's like, I'm your friend, you know, so it's not like it's someone that doesn't know me, and I need to find out what exactly it was called that she did. And it's something with, not burnt, like she used the candle and marked on paper with like the burn of the candle. So I still have the paper. And there were a lot of things that she said that came true, but there's a lot that was predicted for further. Like she 100% predicted my Seahawks job.
How so? What did she say?
She said there's something, which it's so hard because anyone can make fun of it for saying this. She's like, but I see something for you that's coming that's more than on camera than what you're doing now. It's going to be super big, but not like life-changing big. Not like money big, but it'll be, and this was right when we got let go. We already were doing Twitch. She's like, it's not with Anthony. And I was like so upset. She's like, but it's fine. It's not that you're not doing what you're doing with Anthony. You're doing something else.
But
and there were other things later in life that she predicted that we'll see if it happens.
Don't you think that's vague enough, though, where a lot of things could have qualified to make that true?
Of course. But at the time, the way she described it, it was kind of like exactly how the Seahawks position was pitched to me. Mm-hmm. It was just weird how it played out. And she got the timing right, too. She was like, it's going to be... she's like, it's not now. It's not going to be like even next year because this was 2020 when I did the reading with her. when we were doing the road trip. So Seahawks happened what year is this? 2023. Seahawks happened last year. So she's like, it's not happening for a while. She's like, but I can see that there's something more happening. And at the time, I thought it was going to be the company that we were talking to our friend Stormer. I thought it was something with him. I was like, okay, that's exactly what it's going to be. So when the Seahawks thing first happened, I was like, wait a minute.
But again, but Stormer's, that thing with Stormer, our friend, could have also been it. That's what I'm saying is there's a lot of things that could have filled that.
But it wasn't. It didn't happen.
But you had, what I'm saying is there are multiple opportunities for something to fill that bucket.
But they didn't.
But one of them was going to. She never said it was going to be the Seahawks that filled that bucket, right? There were a lot of things that could fill that bucket, and by chance, one of them did. I'm not saying it's not true at all. I'm just saying it's vague enough where a lot of things could have made that true, right? You're still young. There's a lot of opportunities you're going to have. You work in the entertainment industry, and there's a lot of things that we're going to do at some point separate from one another. So, in theory, whether she has an ability, some sort of supernatural ability or not, a lot of things could have made that true. And here's the thing. If someone wants to get a reading, go for it. I don't think there's any harm in any of it.
Unless you're at a carnival.
And what is the harm of it? What is the harm with that?
I don't believe anything I've seen at a carnival. They told me I was going to see a half horse, half person, and it wasn't real.
You know what's funny at the carnivals? There's always the guess my weight person. I don't think they've ever guessed my weight properly.
Me neither. They're always like, damn, girl, where are you packing all that?
They always guess me. They always assume I am lighter than I am.
Yeah, I win those every time for weight and age.
Yeah, which is, I guess, depending on the way they're guessing, could be a good thing, could be an embarrassment. Yeah. There was something else that I had, and now I can't remember it, but, we had some technical difficulties today. Thank you for sticking with us. I think almost the same amount of people are here from after the glitch than before, and it looks like maybe it was an issue with global Wi-Fi or whatever was going on in the world. It was Hurricane Helen. No, what is it? Hillary. Hurricane Hillary. Crooked Hurricane Hillary. Back at it again.
Oh, yeah. If you live in California, though, we hope you're staying safe because it's a little wild over there right now.
It seems like it's everyone that I've talked to in California, there is some rain, but everyone that I've talked to...
Dodger Stadium is now in the middle of a lake.
Yeah, that's fine. It's in a valley. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it seems like most people are safe. I haven't heard of any deaths or major damage, just some flooding. And if it's Dodger Stadium, I guarantee you the Dodgers can pay for the repairs.
Probably.
I think they've got enough money.
Hey, you know what I learned over the last few days? It was a very adult moment.
What was that?
Apparently my parents also learned this. You're supposed to have your heating and air conditioning serviced every year. So just have someone come out, check it, not the inside part, because I do my vents inside. I clean them.
Yeah.
The outside part. But ton of money on Wednesday for them to come and possibly fix something and service it for the first time in 3 years.
Well, okay, think about it this way, though. If you're going to spend a butt ton of money today, it's just the money you would have paid the last 2 years. So it's probably the same amount of money.
Just to get them to come out.
Yeah.
Is a lot of money. But
you would have to pay that 3 times.
Right, but if something's wrong, it could cost thousands of dollars.
Yeah, but you still saved those 2 other times.
But that could have been prevented.
We won't know until we get there.
Maybe Amanda will be able to tell me about it today.
You can't plan for things that haven't happened yet. Well, that's not true. You definitely can, but No,
but I purposely scheduled it for Wednesday because I knew you'd be back because I'm scared that they're going to be like, oh, this is a dumb blonde. We're just going to charge a bunch of things, so you're going to deal with it. Thank you.
It is weird that that's still a thing. There are people that will come out and be like, oh, well, this little lady brought in her car for a muffler, but I'm going to make her pay for windshield wiper fluid or, I don't know, whatever stupid things.
That's normally free.
Exactly, but that's what I mean. They're going to make you pay for it. That was the whole point of why I said that.
But remember when the plumber came to the house because we had the water explosion in the wall?
Yes.
We were both like, oh, I don't know where anything is. How do you do anything?
I'll be the first person to admit, there are a lot of things I know, and there are a lot of things I don't. And I'm not ashamed to admit the things that I don't. So when someone says, do you know how to, I don't know, fix your radiator? for example. I'm just going to say, I absolutely do not. And I'm going to find a professional or a YouTube video. And then I'll figure it out.
Yep.
There was this question that our friend Erica asked me. I guess they were doing something on the radio. This is before she got her new job in Utah. But there's a question you could ask to a man to figure out if he's got like toxic traits or something. And the question was, if you're on an airplane.
Oh, she asked you this?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you
so
this.
Go for
I
it.
forgot. If you were on a plane, Anthony,
Yes.
and the plane was going down or the pilot's passed out, do you think you'd be able to land the plane? And you're supposed to text the guy and see how they respond. And most guys are like, absolutely, I could land it. No problem.
Well, no, I responded with, if I'm doing this by myself and for some reason that responsibility was given to me, probably not. I'll try my best. But if someone could guide me through it, maybe, but also most likely not.
Somebody asked me that question.
And what'd you say? What was your answer?
No, I'm telling you, ask me.
You want me to just repeat the question you just asked me? Just answer the goddamn question.
I think that if air traffic control was telling me what to do and what buttons to push, I'd be able to do it.
I mean, that's kind of what I just said. If there was, I still think I'd leave some room for doubt. Right?
We should get our,
there's maybe
maybe
there's a feel to it that I wouldn't understand, but if it's just clicking some buttons and letting a computer do it, I'm sure someone could walk me through it. But again, on my own, we're all dead. All of us are dead.
Done.
Toast.
On Thursday, when we get our ear professional on, maybe we'll get our old boss.
Oh, yeah.
Justin. He can't speak on behalf of an airline.
But he can speak on behalf of a professional pilot. As to whether, because he's great, and I think all pilots have done this at some point, but he's recently been an instructor at a flight school. So he could probably tell us, especially because those, airliners, we're not talking about a little Cessna, right? We're talking about billion-dollar machines that have really smart and advanced computers that do a lot of the work as long as you know how to do it. So I bet you if it was him, especially because he's former radio, probably knows how to get the point across fluidly,
he could walk us through it.
I think he could.
I have an idea. Well, first I was going to ask, do you think we can get a discount to go to his flight school where he's teaching? But
probably.
I wonder if we could do a thing where he puts us in the simulator that they use at, what's the movie? Captain Sully?
Yeah.
In the courtroom?
Yeah.
If he can put us each in those and then he walks us through individually as if a plane was crashing and we see who lands it better.
Yeah. I think we could do that.
Right. We'll get him on the horn on Thursday.
Okay. It would be cool to have an Ask a Pilot thing.
Yeah, because you know what I also learned recently? I never noticed it before, but I kind of knew about it. So there's the pilot and the co-pilot.
Okay.
Or captain. They have different names sometimes. Captain and pilot, whatever. There's another seat up there.
Okay.
And it goes...
Wait, say that again?
I froze?
Yeah.
There I am. So pilot's face forward.
Okay.
There's another seat behind the pilot that's like this.
And what is that seat?
I don't know if it's in every airplane. So I was waiting to board my flight from LA.
Mm-hmm.
Was I know? Oh, yeah. Taylor Swift. Back to Seattle. And there was a pilot waiting for a seat assignment. And I heard him say, I could just sit in the cockpit. And I was like, is this guy joking? I thought it was a joke. And I heard the ticket person go, I can't put you in that seat if there are seats available on the plane. He was like, oh, okay. So then I'm getting on the plane and I'm like this. Looking in the cockpit because I don't want to be like, this girl's trying to take over the plane. But there was a seat.
Okay, but I wonder if that seat, obviously it could be in there for a number of reasons, but I wonder if that seat is in there for someone who has to some sort of advisor that has to audit pilots, right?
Yeah.
They have to be in the cockpit.
Said sometimes there's a mechanic in there.
Or a mechanic, yeah. I feel like there's some sort of official role. It's not just for people who want to hang out and fly in the cockpit. But again, there could be multiple reasons for that seat. I got no idea.
Yeah, but you should get to pass. I got TSA, pre-check, and clear. I should be allowed to be up there.
To do what?
To watch.
In the cockpit?
Yeah.
anyone could get that kind of clearance, and anyone can do whatever they want with that kind of clearance. Except for wear shoes, apparently. Shoes on airplanes are still a big no-no.
Yeah.
Or through security.
The one time I flew in a private plane was with Elvis.
Mm-hmm.
Coming back from West Palm Beach, Sunfest. He got a plane for a bunch of us to fly back, and Greg T was white-knuckling the seat the whole time, panicked.
Yeah.
Yelling at me to sit down while the pilots are like, hey, little lady, do you want to come watch the sunset? I was like, sure do. So I sat in the cockpit, and they were explaining to me about the horizon and like the line, and I don't remember all the science of it, but they gave me the whole rundown. I was like, what is this? What is that? Oh my God, this is wild. Like, it was the coolest thing ever. And T was flipping out. I was like, T, I'm not flying the plane.
Which you did one day.
And the next day, he actually came and apologized to me. He's like, I'm sorry. That was definitely a really cool experience, especially because they were showing you things and I was ruining it for you. I was just really scared.
That's fair. Oh, that fear is going to manifest itself in a lot of different ways for a lot of different people.
And there were free snacks.
I've heard, I've never been on a private plane, but I've heard that it's a whole different experience. Not even just that you feel rich, obviously, because you're on a private plane, but like there's really no security. You do whatever you want. You don't have to put your seatbelt on. You just kind of go. It's literally like being a party van.
Yeah, I watch it a lot. I've all caught up on the Kardashians, the latest seasons, and like watching them fly in their private planes. I'm just like, they call it like Kim Air, Kylie Air. It's so insane. And
do they have a family plane, or they rent? Like, what do they have?
No, they use Kim or Kylie's plane.
So the two of them have their own planes.
Yes.
Seems wasteful. Seems like you could probably just get one plane for the whole family. Like a sedan, you know?
But like they're just like, okay, we're gonna go to Milan today.
That's wild.
I know, and it does. Like I was watching, and they have like things that they're dealing with. Like they just have somewhat regular people problems, right? Like Kim and Kanye going through their divorce is a regular person problem, but
I would argue it's not I think a divorce is a regular person problem. Their relationship is not a regular person problem, though.
No, but dealing with like your ex going off the hand, like different, whatever it may be, there's different things. It's just all heightened and everyone can see it. And I'm like watching it, and obviously watching Khloe go through the whole Tristan cheating on her and getting another girl pregnant and then going through the surrogate, like all this stuff. And I'm like, man, you could have all the money to solve so much, and you still have problems.
Yeah, but I think their problems are also sometimes self-inflicted. Now, Khloe did not make Tristan cheat. Kim did not make Kanye insane. However, they found men to fill a very specific role. Right? They found men that were huge personalities, very rich, elevated what they do.
I don't know that Tristan is a huge personality and very rich. They have way more money than he does.
I'm not saying that Tristan has more money than Khloe. I'm just saying he's still very rich by any standard.
He's not a big personality.
Tristan Thompson was a big deal when they first started dating. He's fallen off a little bit, probably because of his play and being a player, I guess. But he's still a big personality, right? He's still a professional athlete and very good at his job and makes millions of dollars. And I think they were all searching for those types of people, because marrying a regular guy for any of the Kardashian clan is almost like beneath them, right? You think about it. You got Travis Scott, Tristan Thompson.
How do you find a regular person?
I don't know. But that's the thing. If you continually put yourself in these extraordinary situations, you're going to have extraordinary results, good or bad. Right. And I'm not trying to say that Kim deserves any of the craziness she's dealing with Kanye. But if you keep finding people that are these extravagant personalities, you're going to have to deal with those personalities when it goes wrong, too.
Of course. It's wild to see. Like, all I'm trying to say is you could have all the money in the world.
Of course.
And you still have problems. Whether you think they're legitimate problems or not, there are still problems that those people are dealing with.
Yes.
And people are like, oh, do you want to be famous? I'm like, I never, if you said to me, I'll give you all this money, you can be like the Kardashians. Absolutely not. Because aside from watching their show, you see their life. I want nothing to do with that. I would literally go absolutely insane dealing with what they deal with. But then there's things where Kim was trying to explain how, like, going on a first date with someone,
Yeah.
you have to do it behind closed doors.
Yeah.
So they're either coming to your house or you're going to a hotel. You can't do it publicly. And when your relationship does get in the media, the media makes you feel like you're in an even more serious relationship. She's like, so she talks about her relationship with Pete and how, like, I was like, immediately we were just, the media made it seem like we were in love and we're in this relationship. She's like, so you start feeling it or you start thinking it. And then she's like, but once it hits the media, if you're like, maybe we need to break up, you don't want to be together anymore, you need to make it go a little longer because it's in the media now and you don't want it to have the Taylor Swift effect of she's just going for guys. Kim doesn't say that, but like we think about that all the time. It's like you probably just see by the time the relationship comes out, it's just the end of that relationship, or they could have been together for who knows how long.
Well, I've said it all the time. It's crazy to think that. Think about the amount of times you've just met someone at a bar and maybe you go out on one date. If you're a celebrity, that date now means you're in a relationship, and the people the media will give you a couple name, and they'll just run with it, even though you could just be getting to know this person. But in the media's mind, it's almost like if every time you met someone, you brought them to meet your family. The moment you met them, right? Everyone's going to think it's more serious than it is.
But I don't know. All I know is that money doesn't solve everything.
Yeah. But again, and Unicorn Cindy brings this up, it is also the lifestyle that they chose. There's a ton of rich people out there that you don't know anything about.
No.
The ones we know about want you to know. Like Elon Musk wants you to know so badly who he is, and he wants to remind you every day that he exists.
Yeah.
When you look at someone like Jeff Bezos, he doesn't really do public things like that. Now he still owns one of the biggest companies in the world. He's one of the richest men in the world. And once he started doing like his space missions with his dick rocket, we obviously knew more of who he was. But for a long time, he had a pretty low profile.
Yeah. Like Bill Gates, we know about him. He does interviews, but he's not like Kardashian.
Of course.
It's not. I would love to watch a show about these guys. See how boring their lives actually are.
I bet you their lives are anything but boring, but they choose, they are smart enough or pay enough people to keep things quiet. They probably all do wild things and take crazy vacations and all of that. There was something else. Oh, you know who's a great example? Because I was going to ask you this question, Carla Marie. What type of rich person would you want to be? If you can switch lives with one rich person.
A trust fund baby.
Why is that?
Because I don't have to work and I just have the money.
Okay.
That was my immediate answer. I think I would like to.
There's nothing wrong with that answer.
I think I'd like to be Jeff Bezos though, because
the richest person ever.
You started with nothing though. I mean, granted, his family helped him.
Yeah.
Invest, but like
he was also a mutual fund person before he launched Amazon.
But he built something.
Yeah,
and I think coming from actually building something may make you less of an asshat than just give.
Maybe
winning the lottery would be nice.
That would also. I think I would go. Like I would like to have the anonymity, but also the success of either a really good Major League Soccer player, like in America, or a low-level NFL player, like a punter, or someone who's making a couple $1,000,000 a year, has a long career, but you also, you probably wouldn't recognize them because they look like normal people. Like, we have our friend Dax, who plays for Nashville Soccer Club, Nashville SC. And coolest thing I think I've ever seen was they played Inter Miami this past weekend on Saturday. They went to 10 penalty kicks. It literally got down to 11 penalty kicks, I believe, because it got down to the goalies taking penalty shots. Crazy. And it was tied 1-1 until then. Inter Miami won, but Dax was the guy who got Messi's uniform, his jersey at the end of the game. Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
He posted a picture with it in his house. The Messi chose Dax to give the uniform to. So clearly Dax is at a level in his sport where he's very successful. He's one of the longest tenured Major League Soccer stars in the entire league, in the history of the league.
Too.
But
I remember talking to him,
asking him about how he compares Major League Soccer to some of the other leagues. And his thing was, by the time he started, I guess early on, it probably wasn't a great league to be in because you probably weren't making a ton of money. But they're at a point now in Major League Soccer where almost everyone on a Major League Soccer roster is making enough money to be very comfortable and has a position that they can use to get some cool things in life. Whether it's like bottle service at a club or access to different things, they're big enough stars to do that. But normally when they go buy their groceries, no one knows who they are. Mm-hmm. Because the benefit of soccer too is you normally are the size of a regular person.
Yeah, right? You're not like 7 foot tall.
Like everyone knows if you play basketball. Mm-hmm. Whether they know, they're just going to see a 6'7" person walk into a room and they go, that person probably plays basketball. And I think that's the level that I would be. I'd be Major League Soccer star rich.
I have my final answer.
Okay, what is it?
Oprah Winfrey. Because I grew up wanting to be Oprah. Like as a kid, I was like 7 years old watching her show, being like, I want to do this. Like I want to interview people. And it was also like meaningful stuff that she was doing. It wasn't, like Price is Right type hosting. It was a show, and she was like one of the first people to like give women a voice. So that was like one of my role models growing up. And I think now looking at everything she's created, like she's got a life partner. I don't think they're married. Her
I
and
don't think so.
What's his name? Stan? I forget his name.
I don't know. I don't really know.
It's something.
I don't know a lot about Oprah. I know who she is, obviously.
And then she gets to be with her BFF, and she gets to do cool interviews now, however she wants to do them. Oh, I'm going to do an interview, and it's going to go on this service or this service. Everyone gets an interview, and then she's got her cookbooks and all her book club and Oprah's favorite things. Like, that is my life. Just, I'm down here, and she's all the way up there. Stedman.
Stedman? Stedman? Now, is that her?
Stedman. It's her partner. They never got married.
Where did you see that? Is it in the chat?
Stedman is his name. No one's saying if they got married, but I don't believe they ever got married.
Let's see. Yeah. I think I don't think anyone would blame you for wanting to be Oprah. Just wasn't the answer I was expecting.
Yeah, that's
when you were talking about not being at the Kardashian level.
I don't think Oprah's the Kardashian level.
In terms of fame, she is.
In terms of level of fame, in terms of how society treats you.
Correct. Yes.
Because Oprah can go to the grocery store without having paparazzi. No one cares that Oprah's at the grocery store.
I don't think Oprah goes to the grocery store, though. She maybe could.
Neither do the Kardashians.
Yeah,
but
I think that's always the more important question, actually, is what would you get rid of? What's the normie thing you'd get rid of if you did get to that level where you didn't have to worry about money for the rest of your life? And I'm not saying Major League Soccer stars never have to worry about it. I'm sure they do. But Kardashian level, Oprah, Bezos, Musk, that level of rich.
Cooking and going to the grocery store. I feel rich now when I do grocery pickup. I can't imagine what it'd be like to not even have to do that.
You would never catch me dead. You wouldn't catch me at all in a grocery store.
You don't even go now.
I do now.
You've been to a grocery store maybe 5 times in this whole year.
I've been to a grocery store 5 times since I've been to New Jersey.
Different.
What?
Because that's not your regular life.
Okay, I'm just gonna move on from this conversation because it's ridiculous.
But also, I don't know if I would have a private plane.
I would do it a handful of times.
You wouldn't. No, we wouldn't have our own. We would use a plane.
Yeah, it's also like I don't know if I'd own a boat. I would just rent boats all the time. That way, I can pay for it when I need it, and I don't have to have any of the headache. My life, if I got to that point, is just minimizing my headache all the times. Now, do those people? They don't necessarily need to take care of their planes or boats because they have enough money. There's a team that's doing it. But I just don't want any of it. I don't want emails about, oh, what do you think we should do with this thing? I just want to use the thing when I need it and never think about it again. So I think I would take a private plane a handful of times just to get the experience. But I think I would I'd more likely just buy a first class ticket if I could afford it.
Yeah. You got to stay with the normies a bit to kind of know what it's like to be a normie. So I would have to.
Yeah, I want to be one of the. I want people to think I'm one of the people, right? But I guarantee you,
it's really bad for the environment. So
yeah, it is. But everything we do, I mean, literally every Amazon purchase you make is bad for the environment. I'm not saying that I'm not saying they're equal. I'm just saying that everyone does bad things for the environment all the time, every day.
I would put like my whole family on a plane though. Like I'd buy out a plane, or I guess get a big private plane and take them all.
That's what I was talking about. I would do it a couple times. I would do some of the extravagant things every now and then, maybe for a big birthday or whatever. But I wouldn't be the person who flew private everywhere. No. These are also problems we're never going to have.
We might. You don't know.
Maybe not.
A lottery.
If you're planning on, if you think the probably or the maybe is the lottery, you can just assume it's not going to happen.
I'm going to find out today from the Medium what the winning numbers are.
Okay. Go for it. I don't know if that's how they work, but we do have to get out of here. Thank you very much to everyone who made time for us. Thank you to everyone who supported the stream this morning, helped us take some shots and some drinks. We'll be back here tomorrow. And don't forget, there's a brand new episode of the Morning Show podcast available wherever you get your shows. Carla Marie, any last words?
Yep. Peace out. Thanks for dealing with the glitchies today. Hopefully it'll be better tomorrow.
Later.